You need to be happy alone before you date. Is this the truth? Or is this a myth? There's so much that goes around about what you should do to prepare to be in a relationship. Or do you even need to prepare? Do you just need to go out there and date? Listen, if you're watching this, chances are you're caught up in the conundrum of, do I really need to like do this work on myself first, or should I just get out there and date? And my answer may surprise you, and you're probably already trying to jump ahead and thinking, of course she's going to tell me that I should love myself, that I should be happy with myself before I get out and date. And that's why I say you want to stay to the very end, because my answer actually may surprise you quite a bit. It's a little bit unorthodox, but you know what? So is life. But listen, if you're that person and you're like, you keep struggling, no matter who you go on a date with, like somehow you keep seeming to miss the connection. You get on a date with a person and you guys just don't vibe. Like something with you and connecting people is not clicking. If that's you, I want you to check out my program. It's called The 5 Things That Sabotage Us from Real Connection. Because at the end of the day, nobody really taught us how to connect. But there are things that we're doing that break down the connection, mistakes that we made. And they cost us because you spin your wheels, wasting dates, wasting time, spending time on dating apps. And it's like, once you get on the date, it goes nowhere. It falls flat. That's because you're probably doing one of these 5 things. And I'm going to show you exactly how you change that, because connection doesn't need to be rocket science, but somehow we have managed to make it that way. So get that course. It's going to show you exactly what to do so that you can have real connections with people. So you don't have to keep wasting your time going on dates and going, I just didn't feel that spark. You didn't feel the spark because you're making one of these mistakes. And I want to teach you how to not do it and what you need to do so that you can go on a date and be like, finally, I didn't know if I just did this, this would actually make the connection. I felt more excited. I felt more alive. I felt more myself. And I felt a connection with that person. Get that course. It will change your life. So listen, if you're watching me, chances are you've watched other YouTubes, you've heard it all before. It's like, yes, do you need to love yourself? Do you need to be happy with yourself before you go out and date? The answer is yeah, of course you do. But hold on, that's not the whole answer. So just stay right there. Yeah, I mean, it's not, once again, it's not rocket science. Like, you can't give out to people what you don't have. So if you're not happy on the inside, chances are going out on a date with someone, like, they're not going to change who you are. Like, who you are is who you are. And you'll continue to be that person until you look at yourself in the mirror, you heal, you grow, you get some coaching, you face yourself, you face your demons, you let go of the bad habits that keep sucking life away from you. Like, that's never gonna go away. Let's just consider that yeah, that's a solid answer. But here's the thing. How do you know you're not happy with yourself? Now, some of you might be struggling with some depression, or you're just always an angry person, or you're pretty melancholy. And so you're like, it's just who I am. But for some people, they're like, you know what? I'm not really sure. And this is where my advice to you is going to be a little bit unorthodox. Because here's the beauty of it. I lived in Bali, Indonesia, right? And so I would see tons of people who we would all go there, and everyone went to Bali essentially to heal. And there's so many healers there, so many coaches, breath work, you name it, somatic therapy, any type of therapy or healing work that you want to do, you can find it in Bali. So what I saw was all of my friends, all these people going through healer after healer after healer, thinking like, I'm evolved, I've arrived, I've made it. First off, let's just get real. None of us ever make it. Why? Because we're always growing and growing and growing. We're evolving, evolving, evolving. So you never just wake up one day and you're like, finally, I made it. No, because there's another new version of you out there that exists, and you got to wake up and go become that person, right? So, but I would see this like, yes, I worked with this healer and I've been evolving and I'm woke and I'm spiritual now and I'm ready. And until you start dating and until you start getting into relationships, you're sometimes not going to know what's going to go on. And being in relationships, going out and dating people will kind of bring up that resistance inside you. It'll bring up those edges. It'll bring up those triggers. It'll bring up those things that where you go, oh shit, this is my mirror. And I'm not as happy as I thought I was. I'm not as content as I thought I was. So it's both, is what I'm going to ultimately say to you, is that yes, you always want to become the best version of you, the person that you enjoy. Like if you're not enjoying yourself, I promise you, no matter what relationship you get in, you're still going to struggle with enjoying you, because no matter how much bliss and joy they bring into your life, at the end of the day, you're still you and you can't outrun you. And I would tell my friends, when I was living in Bali and everything was wonderful and it was during COVID and it was just like very peaceful and quiet and we were all healing and doing this and doing that, I still had my demons, just like you still have your demons. And I used to tell my friends, I would say, everywhere I go, because I've lived all over the world. I've lived in Thailand, I've lived in England, I've lived in France, I live in France, I've lived in Bali. And I'm like, everywhere I go, there I am. And until you deal with the I am yourself, like you're going to continue to show up everywhere. So this is my advice to you. Listen, do your work, continue to evolve, and get that course to see if some of these things are sabotaging you and change them. But you want to always face yourself, whether you're in a blissful marriage with the love of your life and you have a Disney fairy tale marriage and it's pure bliss. At the end of the day, you still have to evolve. So that part of the equation is never going to go away. And if you think it is, if you think being in a relationship is going to make that go away, you're out of your mind. Get that out of your head. It's not going to happen. You have got to deal with you. You got to be with you. You got to not just love you, because I feel like that's so ambiguous, such a broad term, but you got to enjoy you. And you have to accept you at the end of the day. Listen, you have parts of you that aren't so nice. We want to judge everybody else and be like, everyone else is so toxic and I'm so wonderful. No, you have toxic traits too. And you have some bad habits that really suck. And guess what? The beauty of loving yourself is accepting those places, accepting the fact that like, I'm not so great here. I still love that. I love my dark, but I'm going to grow. I'm going to evolve. And if you need help with that, check this video out about this is what self-love looks like. Oh my goodness. I share my own story there. It is a juicy video. You want to go and watch that. But yeah, listen, you want to be happy alone because here's the thing. You want to be freaking happy for the sake of you, because you're a wonderful being and you are going to enjoy this life so much better when you are happy with yourself. But I do encourage you to continue to go out and date, because that is going to push you into your resistance. It's going to show you your mirrors. It's going to show you your edge, and it's going to show you things that you just might need to grow up in. And that's okay, because we all do. So yeah, you can go out and date and not be happy with yourself. And then those people will all just be mirrors to remind you how unhappy you are with yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to have to face yourself. You're going to have to love yourself. If this video is speaking to you, make sure that you give a like. And in the comments section below, tell me what your theory is around this. Do you think that you should just hang out at home and continue to work on you and become happy before you go out and date? Or are you one of those people you're like, nah, I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to get out there and see what happens? And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because just like my Bali friends who were all healing and they were all evolving, I'm like, you're not going to know how much you've evolved until you actually do life with people. You cannot hide behind self-love and taking care of yourself and evolving for yourself. The real test to see where you've actually grown and where you've actually integrated the work that you've been doing on yourself is when you have to do life with people, in relationships and in dating. So if you need more support, I've got this video that you must watch right now. It's popping up right here. Know this, my darling, you're loved and you're meant to enjoy this life. And the best way to enjoy this life is to start by enjoying you. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.